Good morning. This morning we're going to talk about St. Paul Miki and his companions, but it's also really about the Church of Nakassaki, Japan. Um, Now, Japan had a real interesting history with Christianity. Way back in 1549, St. Francis Xavier went there, and after just spending 27 months there, he had a lot of followers. There's a very big group that were following him and really online with this, and he was quite excited about it. Um, but by the end of the century, end of 1549, so we're almost into 1600, the church, the government just looked at the church and said, holy cow, this is a dangerous thing for us. And for whatever reason, they decided to, boom, eliminate it. So they did everything they could. There's a movie called Silence, which I, by the way, would not recommend, but it shows this period of time when they're persecuting anybody that's still a Christian. They just wiped them out. The priests, they would kill, they would torture, they would do horrible things. And what they did to test out whether people were Christians or not is they got this plate they would put down. That would have the image of Christ or the image of Mary on it. And they would ask all the people to stomp on it as though they were just saying no way to this. And so the people would. Anybody that refused was killed, tortured terribly, and killed. So this went on for some amount of time. So all appearances of Christianity were absolutely gone. And as a part of this, our St. Paul Micah and 26 others were killed on one day when this first started. And so he is remembered as kind of the remembrance of the repression of the church. It was just a terrible, terrible thing. The things changed a little bit, and they went up and down. Sometimes the Christianity would kind of perp up again, and then by 1600 it just got squashed down again. Now, years later, many years later, in 1854, the Japanese let in the people, let in foreign priests and such. They no longer had memories even of this kind of situation. So there was a Father Bernard Pettigene of France, and he's allowed to serve as a chaplain for the community of Nakasawa. And he worked, and he got this church going, and he got a big community going. He's doing it for 5 years. And then a group approaches him. And they said, when they were very nervous talking to him, but they said, the hearts of all here are the same as yours. He's trying to understand, what are they saying? Well, it turns out that tens of thousands of people had carried on the Christian message, the Christian, some of the Latin prayers, the feast days, the rituals of baptism. They carried them on for 200 years, totally in secret. Priest was flabbergasted. Well, at that point, with what he had already started and this all their group that had been hidden all started, the church in Nakasawa grew tremendously. As a matter of fact, they built a great cathedral dedicated to St. Paul Miki and his 26 companions. And the people at one point are unable to comprehend, because the steeple of that cathedral broke through in the clouds from a plane overhead. And on August 9th, 1945, an American pilot saw that cathedral, saw a marker that, oh, that's where people are, and dropped the atomic bomb. 79,000 people were instantly killed, and they were unable to absorb it. The Catholic Church in Nakasawa lost half of all of its members instantly, in a moment. We like to think that we're free from suffering and from guilt, and we're not. We have to be aware that there's the dangers of violence at all times. And perhaps keeping in memory these horrible things that have happened can help us to be aware and to be cautious about the evils. Not the evils of some pilot somewhere in the army, but the evils right inside here, where I'm not thinking well of others. May the memory of St. Paul Miki kick us a little bit. May the bomb that dropped and killed so many instantly hit us a little, that we might be graced with an opening to be aware of the evil and suffering, and we might be people of peace, both politically as well as people of peace right here, because that's what Jesus Christ offers to us.